We're waiting.
Been waiting. The wait is over. Hello, happy weekend. We are those weekend golf guys. John Ashton here in the splendid surroundings of the Polo Fields Country Club in Louisville, Kentucky.
Just lovely.
Isn't it, though? Beautiful day for golf. And Jeff Smith is, of course, chained to the inside golf cave at Otter Creek.
Having a great time, though. I like my chain. I got a long one.
Yeah, he's been on a long leash for quite a while.
That's right.
Oh, man,
nobody pulls it in.
This is an absolutely gorgeous day for golf.
Perfect.
But the good news, even the professional staff here at the Polo Fields are gathered around their computer doing their last-minute changes to their fantasy football.
Hopefully on DraftKings.
Yes, hopefully on DraftKings.
They found out that DraftKings pays more than the golf business.
That's it. Now, if you want to join them, you can do that, as we've alluded to here recently. DraftKings, you just go to thoseweekendgolfguys.com/fantasy, and you can participate through our site with DraftKings. They power our fantasy golf, fantasy football, baseball, hockey, any fantasy you you want to have that's around sports. There are some we can't handle.
What's that thing with the broom and the ice?
Curling.
Do they have that?
I wouldn't doubt it. If you can bet on it, they got it. So it's, again, thoseweekendgolfguys.com/fantasy for all of your fantasy football. Because the great thing is you don't have to commit for a year. You know, because I feel sorry for those guys who spent the $100, $150, $200, whatever it is, to get into their league. And, you know, their star running back is already gone for the season. You know, then what do? You got to pay more money. These DraftKings things are 1 week at a time. Yeah, that's a great deal.
The way to do it.
Hey, Jeff, I got to tell you a story, man. Now, I want the world to know that I do this not to aggrandize my own self.
You're right.
But to teach lessons from the book of Jeff. All right, brothers and sisters, are you listening? Okay. I have been.
Book of Mormon only better?
Yeah, not quite as much singing, dancing going on. Okay, it's the Book of Mormon. And it didn't come from angels in the middle of upstate New York either. It has a much more realistic, I guess you could say, evolution. However, I do want to tell you, I have studied very hard from the book of Jeff, chapter 1, verses 1 through 83, on setup, ball position, grip, aim, etc. And I got to tell you this. We were on a 473-yard par 5 hole the other day. And following chapter and verse from the book of Jeff, brothers and sisters, I was 217 yards from the green after my beautiful, high, mini draw drive. 217 yards. You do the math.
And the book of Jeff says you got to do the math on this, the scorecard math on that.
Yeah, well,
and it says that was a heck of a drive, wasn't it?
It was a heck of a drive. Now, I was sitting there thinking about what to do on my second shot while my playing partners played their second shot because I was substantially farther forward than were they. Just thought I'd point that out because one of them's here right now.
You said you were 217 yards away.
Yeah, 217.
So what was the situation? 217, was it just fairway in front of you?
Well, now I got to tell you that
over trees or
that had I been on the right-hand side of the fairway, I would have had pristine fairway, close mown grass all the way from me to the pin. But I got to tell you, my direct path was laden. I mean, just filled with hazards, thick rough, a big sand trap, trees on the left. Yes. But I took my 5 wood. Because, again, from the book of Jeff, it says, know your clubs and be confident in your clubs. And I said, I can get this 217 yards. Not a problem.
There was no wind?
No, not to speak of.
Was it uphill? Was it downhill?
The green was probably 10 feet lower in elevation than my shot, my lie was. basically straight.
All right.
And it flew high. It flew straight. I mean, this was dead at the pin. And it started coming down. And everyone's going, yes, yes, yes. And it landed 2 feet short of the green. Bounced to the left and rolled down the hill 8 feet. So next week, brothers and sisters, I want you to join me in studying greatly Chapter 2, verses 1 through 33 on chipping close to the green from the thick rough.
Well, let me tell you, I also, John, I want you to read chapter and verse on a little bit more exercise to get that extra 2 feet of flight.
Never misses an opportunity.
That's in the
does he?
appendix, isn't it? Wow. Okay.
You're right, producer Mark. Never misses an opportunity. It's always going to be walked through.
It's one of the many things I love about you.
But now, man, there is no better feeling in the world than to have. Well, there is. One of the best feelings in the world is to have a great golf shot. There is no better feeling in the world than to have 2 consecutive great golf shots.
Yeah.
So you're saying that all that light reading is paying off?
Yes.
I'm glad that you're not telling people exactly what little room in your house you're doing this light reading. That'd be a nice thing to not know.
Oh man, but it was a phenomenal.
You're
Go on.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you're out there at the Polo Fields.
Yeah.
And enjoying a beautiful day. Am I to understand that at the end of our fun radio show, I have to go back to work and teach some golf, and you guys are probably going to go play at the Polo Fields? Is that my understanding of how this arrangement is?
Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Yes, sir.
Figures.
Yeah.
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 Those weekend golf guys, I'm
You
going to get to play an awful lot of golf in this bunch. I don't know what's going on here, but I think that I get more of the traveling and the working, and you get more of the playing.
You knew the job was dangerous when you took it, bud. Sorry, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. You know, you heads, you chance, you blew it. What can I tell you? What can I tell you?
Right.
Yeah. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. But
That's okay.
okay.
But you know what? You know the fun part about my job, though,
What's that, man?
is the truth is that when more people read from the Book of Jeff,
Yeah.
and they have success.
That's right.
And you know, when we talk about these things, we say, "Hey, look, we're not curing cancer here. We're having fun, and we're helping people play better golf."
That's it.
That's a whole lot better than a lot of people bringing all their stress to the golf course. If they would lighten up a little bit, just realize, hey, you know, if you just get yourself a good, solid fundamental base, and you know your alignment's pretty good, your ball position's pretty good. You know, you're standing there in athletic balance, and your hands are on there in a way that it didn't come out of a book. It kind of came out of your body, and how you put them on there, the way your arms naturally hang down, and get real close to that. How much better they play instantly, and how much more fun they have. I mean, think about it. You and I have talked about how miserable you used to be coming off the golf course.
Yeah.
But yet, you've also, at the same time, you've gotten happier because you got better, and at the same time, you have told me on numerous occasions how you used to be so nervous playing around other people in your group.
Yeah.
And you haven't said that to me forever now.
No, we got to thank.
You're no longer subconscious or self-conscious about your golf game.
Yeah, need to. There's multiple elements that go into that. One is feeling more confident, like you said, which comes from reading and putting into practice. Not practicing, putting into practice.
It's actually better. It's better that it comes from the confidence. It comes from that,
right?
As opposed to coming from like the 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there are those people who have plenty of confidence because of that, but it's short-lived, and then they have a tough time getting, driving home. So
yeah, but also we have a guest about average of once a month, Dr. Gary Sales from Indiana University, who not only is a piece of work to listen to, man, funny as heck, but can really help the head portion of this whole game. So we do encourage you to pay.
The doc is a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy, man. Need to pay close attention when Dr. Gary is around on the show, and we will let you know that. One of the things we want to let you know, too, right now is we're doing a test. I think they call it a soft launch in the computer business, don't they? We've been mentioning ad nauseam for some people's tastes that we are available with free apps, or as Jeff will tell you, a frap. From
That's right. Free app is a frap.
Right. From you can get a free app from the Apple Store, the iTunes Store, or the Google Play Store. Weekend Golf Guys free app where you can listen to us streaming live both on Saturday and starting today on Sunday. All right. So right now, if you were to go and download the app for free from either of those two locations, put it on your personal smartphone, you can listen to us right here, right now. I hope. Because, according to our computer, it's working. But that doesn't really.
According to, I know that it's working because I'm getting a text from my sister who is listening to our show, listening to us live right now, and she's sending me texts. So, hey, Kate, hope you're doing great. Thanks for listening to our show. Isn't it nice that we have at least one listener?
At least one. I was going to say she's the one. All right, so I guess we can
right there, baby.
we can promote it heavily now because it works, which is good to know.
Cool.
Love it when technology actually works. But there's one piece of gear we need to do so we can get you to participate directly with us in a little higher quality format. And I just got to say, people, I don't know what's going on, but I went to every electronic store and music store and smartphone store in the city yesterday asking for one piece of equipment. And only one person even knew what I was talking about and told me truthfully it's rather esoteric. I can order one for you, but I don't carry it. The other reactions I got was, oh, that doesn't exist. To, oh, there's no reason you'd need that. To,
why would you want to do that?
Why do you want to do that? What are you going to use it for? I mean, people, are you or are you not in the electronics business? Please learn what you're doing. And then, the worst part of the whole thing is I'm unpacking the suitcase with all our equipment in it today. I find exactly what we needed. We're just short one cord to use it, however, but that will be rectified in the next few hours. So next week,
Wow.
if
you
you
created something out of thin air.
Yes, I did, man. If you are unable to listen to us live directly on 1450 The Sports Buzz, please download our app, and you can listen to us anywhere. You can listen to us live Sundays from noon to 1, or, of course, the hour will be recorded and will be archived, and you can listen to it later at your convenience if you want to. But why would you want to when you can do it live? It's before football. Come on, give me a break, people. Speaking of breaks, let's take one.
That's right.
We will be right back right here, 1450 The Sports Buzz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening live on the Internet, this is an inside radio thing where we don't yet have the ability to play you what the radio station is playing now, so you're not going to hear anything for about 2.5 minutes, except maybe us in the background, joking and smoking and doing all that kind of good stuff. So hang out with us. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I heard the intro was good. I was driving in the car, and it was 12:03. You guys gonna have like 4:05 or something like that. Having fun today. I finally got that bush trimmed. I have yet to shave it.
Battle done.
But now the shower's the big battle. That's the way I can. He sits in the chair and I.
I've got another laptop at home. If my wife wasn't home using it, I'd use it.
Yeah.
She gets a little bit upset when I take all of her computer access away.
I can understand that. So that little piece, what does it do?
It splits the.
Yeah.
Splits. See, there's one plug on an iPhone,
And that's your.
and it's both audio out and audio in,
on one receptor. Yeah.
and so you need a plug that's got 4 different bands on it.
For the end of that, and
So
then
that you can make the connection, so
Right.
that you can split
go
out
in and out.
the
You have to split it out of the iPhone. I got you.
All the other connectors only take audio out. They don't do anything
And none
else.
of the other technical gizmo place where they sell all electronic equipment don't figure that out on iPhones. They need that.
You think?
An iPhone is probably one of the most popular phones ever.
What I came close to doing was getting
Apple's got that new one out.
just get one of those, earbuds that's got the mic on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that would have the right plug.
Well,
so I was
yeah.
going to take that and then cut that cord and splice in
Splice
other
it.
cords, but I went,
No,
no.
shouldn't have to.
Wait 48 hours and Amazon will send it to me, okay?
Yeah, Amazon will get it.
For $6.71.
And we'll ship Amazon. Sure.
I don't even think this is going to touch you because it's coming from Shepherdsville.
No, it's already touched us. That's how they got it. Shepherdsville. But yeah, we ship Amazon directly. Wow, dude, I can't believe how many hours I got in this week, and it's not even peak. I had 35 hours this week. I'm not supposed to work that much. But anyway, here we go.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous day. Cloud cover, and tell them we're not getting the rain that they already said. It's nice and dry here so far. How about my man George Steve? He's wrong. I don't want Spencer to go with the 5-wood and 3-wood. He can't take the driver on the par 5s. He should. It's a big pussy.
Damn it. Damn Ferner.
Yeah, and I don't want an Australian. I don't want a guy from Ireland, and I damn sure don't want one Stenson from, what is he, South Africa or Germany or some sweet ball. You're good, Swedish, yeah. You're not ready, are you?
Those weekend golf guys, we are back live on the air, 1450 The Sports Buzz, also live on our very own apps. You can download for free from the iTunes Store or from the Google Play Store. Do it now. Okay. We were going to wait there, but then we figured, oh, no, we'll just continuing on here. Jeff Smith, live from the Golf Cave at Otter Creek. John Ashton here. We are at the Polo Fields in Louisville, Kentucky Country Club. Absolutely gorgeous place on an absolutely gorgeous day. But, Jeff, I have to tell you something you've probably heard, but you haven't heard often from me. I don't say this well at all, but you were right.
Oh, wait. Is this being recorded?
Yeah, it's being recorded. Yeah, it is. All right, somebody flag this, okay? I was mentioning on yesterday's show that Reniger had sent a gap wedge because I was short a gap wedge, and the Reniger people said, "Hey, we got great wedges. We'll send you one." Well, the gap wedge that came, of course, 52 degrees, which is what I need, but it's a steel shaft. It's a lot heavier than the pings that I have. It's the same, stiffness, supposedly, although I don't see how a steel stiff and a graphite stiff can really be the same stiffness. But they both say regular flex on them.
Well, but the truth is that they can actually get them the same.
Okay.
But you have to understand it's all a range anyway. There's not like one point on the spectrum that is stiff and then everything else is not stiff.
Okay.
And then there's a point of regular, on that flex spectrum. You gotta know that there's a range, and then there's a middle part of that stiff range, and then there's a middle part of that regular range on how much you can actually bend a club.
Okay.
But they can get them pretty close.
Okay, well, that's cool.
There's a couple of tools that are out there that measure that stuff if you really cared.
I don't.
They'll effectively clamp onto one end and put a weight on the other and kind of match, kind of figure out how much bend it has. And they can get it real close, but the weight difference is probably what you felt.
I felt a substantial weight difference in the clubs, and I don't know if it was the weight difference or the sole plate or the design of the club head or what that was different, but the exact same swing, the exact same setup, and everything was going right. Not badly right. Well, I mean, not like, shanked right, but was probably 10 yards to the right of where it was aiming.
Well, it's very possible that your hands just weren't used to that weight,
Mm-hmm.
and they're used to firing and getting the club square with a little bit lighter club, because the rest of your clubs are graphite shafts.
Yep.
And the steel being a little bit heavier, you may have just been a little bit slow in the uncocking of your wrist, so to speak, and squaring up the club head.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. It's going to take a different approach, and I really don't think it's worth doing it. It's not worth learning how to use that club. I would be much better suited to go and get the club that matches my set, as you suggested 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's just. I'm glad you felt it, but it's okay if you say it again. That's all right. We'll all stand by and wait. Mark will push the record button again.
No, I said it once.
We'll just make a loop.
You will not hear it from us a second time. But that is something that probably most amateurs don't understand. Is like if you figure you need a wedge to fill out the complement of the wedges you already have, that you should either get one that matches what you already have, or if for any reason what you already have is not sufficient, you should buy wedges as a set so that you can practice with them and have the same feel to all of them. Correct?
I tend to agree with that, because the wedges are, you full swing a couple of them, but, and that's its own timing, but, to have many different weights and different feels when you're trying to hit soft shots around the greens is not a good idea.
Right.
Because you've got too many things going on there, and it feels different.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that everybody has their best, most consistent golf game. And I think it's pretty important for people to realize, hey, look, it's really good to have the best feel and make it consistent. Because if you're going to spend money on golf clubs to get them, at least make sure they feel the same.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
Yeah. And especially wedges, if you're going to get good wedges, which, the Renegers are really good wedges. Or people, they think wedge, they think Vokey, because that's what they see in advertising all the golf magazines or whatever. It's not a cheap investment. I mean, good wedges run you about $130 a piece, won't they?
$120.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. $120.
Well, if you're buying 4 of them at a time, that's
good shots you can hit. It's pretty good. It's worth it.
Yeah, the
get a good one.
The return on that investment is good for those of us who play a lot. But if you're like a once a month kind of golfer, you play 10 to 15 rounds a year, that's kind of a steep investment. So if you do invest money for wedges, I just suggest play more often. Right?
That's the best advice I've heard on this show and that show. Just play more.
That's it. Just play more often.
Just do that.
You'll get much more value out of all that money you spent on the clubs. Of course, if you are an amateur golfer, your budget for balls will increase substantially. But hey, what the heck? What the heck?
It just depends on what woods you walk into.
Yeah, that's true. I was reading a thing online too about how to choose the ball that's right for you. And they kept saying about take 2 that you're thinking about using and, hit them both with the same club and then putt with them both and just see which one works. But I was thinking to myself, yeah, that's great advice for somebody who hits the ball the same way every time. But how many amateurs hit the ball the exact same way every time?
Well, you do.
Do I?
You
Well, I
you
do.
learned from the Book of Jeff.
I do now.
Yeah, you do now.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never.
Just want to make sure that I point that out. You do hit the ball pretty much the same way.
As Rosanna Dana once said,
Which ball should you play, right?
never mind. Yeah, that's the question.
But that applies to you now, right?
Yeah, it does. And I've gotten to the point where I can notice a difference. I can notice that if I take the same arc, same speed, let's say, off the first cut of the rough on a green, because I'm much more comfortable with my sand wedge for some reason than any other wedge for chipping close to the green, okay? Unless it's real close, and then I use a lob wedge and hope. But the sand wedge I feel real confident with. In fact, I chipped in on the 18th hole last week. Just want to point that out, too. I had perused the Book of Jeff, chapter on chipping. I just hadn't memorized it yet. But you can tell the difference. Sometimes you can do it and the ball will, arc a little bit, hit the green, and check. Sometimes it'll hit the green and just roll off to, like the next tee. And I guess that's more of a more to do with the ball itself than the way it's being hit. As long as it's being hit the same way and correctly each time, right?
Oh, there's a little bit of how hard you hit it too.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about that. But if you're really talking about could it roll off the green and go to the next tee, I think you may have struck it just a little harder than necessary.
I've told myself a million times not to exaggerate, Jeff. I'm sorry. It's one of my character flaws. But
$1 million, huh?
At least
$1 million for every time you said that.
That's right. At least $1 million. At least. But it's just something I guess just comes with that nasty P word. Practice.
Yeah, I know the nasty P word. Practice. You get. I nag at you all the time. But if in the book of chipping, as we talk about it, there's also that part about reading the green, and you actually must have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe subconsciously.
No, I'm getting a little bit.
Looked at the green, maybe even walked up on it, put your feet on the green, and read it, and kind of felt what was about to happen to your ball, so you could chip it in.
I wouldn't go that far. Hey, Jeff, why don't you say hi to Joe Fredericks,
That's what I said, maybe.
Yeah, the head pro out here at Polo Fields, and Joe, thanks again for having us out here, man. Gorgeous place. You guys just keep making it prettier and prettier every time we come out here, man.
Well, I wish I could take credit for that. That's our superintendent. Pete Willard does a great job out here.
I want to ask you a question because a lot of people listening, this is one of the courses that they have on their either their wish list or their regular attending list. How many times do you, when you play this course, and I know you do every once in a while, but not often because you have to work for a living, but how many times do you use a driver out here? On how many holes?
Let's see. 5. About 10.
10, really? Because this is basically a shot maker's golf course.
It is. Yeah.
You have
you have to feel pretty comfortable with your driver to hit it out here.
Yeah.
And I do.
Okay.
But that's it.
Yeah.
That's as far as it goes. Anything else in my hand, it's a struggle.
I mean, Jeff, there are holes here where you get on the tee and you go,
From Joe. Isn't that great?
yeah, when you get on the tee and you go, if I hit this right, I'm going to run out of fairway. So it's like a 50-50 proposition.
It's a fun golf course to play. It's a shot maker's golf course, but if you can hit your driver and can control the driver here, you've got a chance of scoring pretty well out here.
Yeah, that's a keep it in the fairway.
Yeah,
and because a lot of times when you get off the fairway, you're behind trees or you have to go around a corner or something like that. That most of us don't have the slightest idea how to do. And there's also some folks whose windows are a little close if you make an errant shot, So
yeah. I've hit a couple rooftops, that's for sure.
Rooftops don't shatter as well as windows.
Yeah. I guess I can advertise for my dad since he's a roofer. I've got a shot of getting it fixed.
So anything cool coming up? You got anything going on?
Actually,
right
today we've got our last event of the year. We've got our mixed couples here going out at 1 o'clock. So we have about 12 teams going out of mixed couples or divorce golf, whatever you want to call it. We'll see who comes back without any blood on their clothes.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, absolutely, it's perfect. Yeah, that's why it's mixed couples, because none of them want to play with their wives. They know they're going to come back bloody if that happens.
Yeah. I was out at a golf course once, and there was a guy and his wife were playing. They paired them up with us, and I made the comment to the guy at one time. I said, "It'd be cool if my wife played golf so we could play together." And he just looked at me and shook his head. Yeah. No.
I'll tell you, if I got a minute, I'll tell you a funny story. My aunt and uncle played in these events all the time, and he was probably about a 2 or 3 handicapper, played in high school and college, and that really good player. And they were playing in a couples event, and they were on this par 5. He was sitting in the cart, and it was her shot. They were playing alternate shot. And she looked at him and said, "Well, what do you think I should do?" And he said, "Well, I tell you what, the best thing you can do right now is whiff it. I'll knock it on the green, and we'll be putting for birdie." At that, she turned around, took her club, hit the thing straight out of bounds, and said, "What are you going to do with that?"
Hell hath no fury.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, that's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard. And that's a true story. That is a true story.
And who got custody of the clubs after that day, I wonder? That is dangerous, though. I mean, playing mixed couples or any alt shot.
Yeah. Our format today it's a pretty fun format. First 6 holes are a scramble. The next 6 are an alternate shot where we have the ladies tee off on the odd holes, men tee off on the even holes for the alternate shot, and then the last 6 are 2 net. So we got basically 3 different tournaments going on.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But we suggest you don't play alt shot with anybody that you're either really, really not with someone who you were really good friends with, or someone you don't care if you never see them again. Those are your two choices.
If you never see them again, it'll be better.
It can strain a friendship.
That friend is going to remind you of that the next week when you're out, believe me.
So the season, I mean, you guys keep it open year-round, don't you?
We're open year-round. Obviously, the only day we're closed on is Mondays, being a private club. But,
right.
We're open year-round, as long as there's not snow on the ground and people will come out and play.
Are there any temperature cutoffs or anything? Or
no, usually a lot of people think the golf course and things like that, but once it gets frozen, you can't do any damage to it.
Okay.
Everything's pretty good. And obviously being bent grass and tees, fairways, and greens, we stay green year-round, so it's pretty nice.
That's one of the things you come out after every golf course you've been to is all brown and yucky, and you see this place, you go, how do they do that? Would they spray paint this stuff or what?
Yeah, we got a flyover coming down. Drop some paint down for us.
It's like, have you ever seen a golf course in Phoenix? Phoenix there's absolutely nothing but dirt and rocks, and suddenly you come to this golf course and it's lush and green. You go, how'd they do that?
Right. Plenty of water.
Yeah, you got to ship that in from Lake Tahoe or something.
Right,
But you've got water here. I mean, you've got everything. You've got some water hazards. You've got some long holes. You've got some short holes. You've got holes where you have to, course management comes really into play.
Right. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. We've got some pretty good ravines. And the good thing about our golf course too is even like I said earlier, it is a shot maker's golf course, but you've got a lot of carry to fairways. So you've got to be able to get it up in the air off the tee and get it out there pretty good. I mean, we've got some carries that are around 210, 220 on some of the holes.
Yeah.
So, again, you have to be able to hit it good and hit it straight, get it in position.
Definitely. But then again, if you don't hit it good and hit it straight, I mean, that's what everybody's aspiring to, right?
That's any golf course. Yeah, you hit it bad anywhere, you're going to score bad. People ask me all the time, how'd you play? Well, you swing bad, you hit it bad. It's just the way it goes.
That's why they call it golf.
Yeah.
I think. But memberships available? I mean,
plenty of memberships available. Obviously we'd like to continue to grow that. Like you said, the golf course is great. We got great facilities here. I mean, you guys are standing out here doing our show on our back veranda here that we use throughout the year. So
with a swimming pool to the left and the tennis courts to the right. I mean, this is full-blown country
it's a
club.
Beautiful setting for anything you want to do.
Yeah, and
outings, weddings. We do it all.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So give Joe a call and maybe he'll come out and let you take a tour or something.
Absolutely. absolutely.
Look around the course, see how amazingly easy this difficult course can be.
Yeah, it's well said. Well said, yeah.
But, it's one of those courses where you play it the first time, and then you go, oh, I've got to go do that again.
Yeah.
Because now I know where to go.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about it is the first hole's a short par 4, so yeah, you really don't want to hit driver there because you got a big ravine that cuts the green off. So yeah, you're really the first time you have a chance to hit drivers on 3 after you play a long par 3, and you're sitting there, trying to drive it out of a chute with houses on the right and out of bounds on the left, and you're going, yeah, this is a great starting hole for a driver. A lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. So yeah,
absolutely. And you look around, and you go, well, wait a minute, where do I warm up? There's no place to warm up. It's rather extensive practice facility right across the street here.
Absolutely. Yeah, we plenty of range balls, and we've got a great practice facility here. We do, 40 to 50 yard chipping green in length, and then 40 or 50 yards around it, where really from one side of the one side of the fairway area to the other side of the green is about 100 yards. So you can really work on your short game really good.
Yeah, sure can.
And of course, the putting green's right out here in front of the clubhouse.
Yeah, and it's great. So make it a point, put it on your list, and come on out and check out the Polo Fields. The hardest part about it is just finding it.
Yeah.
Because there's no sign.
No.
Pretend you're going to Long Run Park, okay?
Yeah, it's actually pretty easy. You tell people, like, where are you? Well, actually, it's pretty simple. You know where Valhalla is? Yeah, drive about 2 miles past Valhalla and take a left on Flat Rock, and you'll get here.
That's right, exactly. And once again, I pass Valhalla and the gate's closed.
Yeah.
It happens every time I go by there. They see me coming.
You don't drive by there early enough. If you're like me and you drive by there early in the morning, it's open all the time. You can just drive right in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see how far you get.
Yeah, well, see, but you get that PGA thing next to your name. They tend to, genuflect a little bit deeper when you walk in than when.
Not necessarily. No.
All right. Well, Joe Fredericks, we appreciate again the hospitality and being out here. It's a great place. So come on out and give Joe and the guys in the pro shop a call, and he can set you up. It's if you're looking for a home for your golf game, this is probably one of the best places in town to park your.
Yeah, we definitely think so. We've got a great spot out here, and love to have people come out and check it out. For sure.
Do that. What's the phone number? Get through.
244-6688, or you can get online polofieldcc.com and check us out.
Now that 244-6688.
Pretty easy.
If you can't remember that, maybe you shouldn't be playing this game.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, if you make a lot of 4s, 6s, and 8s here, you're going to be in trouble.
That's true. All right. All right. Listen, we're going to take another quick break here on the radio. 1450, the Sports Buzz.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
So how won't be any room for us to get out today, then, will
Not for probably couldn't get you guys out till around 2 o'clock or so. You guys want to stick around? I mean, I can get you out, but it's going to be a little bit with this.
Okay. Well, we can drink that.
Yeah, you got a nice view out here.
Yeah.
Have a few drinks, and I'll get you out.
Great. Thanks, Joe.
You can drink, Abby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, can you invite us to play golf at 1 o'clock?
I heard Tim said he was I heard Tim say he was buying, so hell.
Obviously, those things really distort the theory.
I never heard that. Did you? Did they ever tell you about that?
That part, too. I missed that part, too.
Which part?
The part about them having a scramble.
They didn't tell us about that either. It came as a complete shock.
Well,
It's a shotgun.
2 o'clock, that's not that.
Hey, it's a shotgun.
You know,
I think so.
we got to load up anyway, I won't be that long. About 30 minutes.
Load up,
They can always let us
practice
go off.
buddy,
Load up.
They can always let
get a
us
few
go off 10.
cocktails.
Load up, have a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Once again, these are the plans of hardworking radio professionals. For those of you listening on the live stream right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That you reminded me of that.
Yeah. Just don't say anything nasty.
Don't say.
So it's not
words.
controlled by the FCC. So go for it. I'm not aggrandizing myself. He just wants to point out the fact that he was listening and he understood a big word I used. That's.
He was listening. He was paying attention.
Yeah, I've heard about his dream.
Yeah.
270
Live with that fantasy.
All right, man. You were there.
And you do the math.
You were there.
You had to do the math. I didn't like doing the math. That's
217 yards. I know I can do it.
with a 5-wood.
Downhill, with the wind. I came up short.
Stars align.
Sorry, man. Where's Trent?
I got an eagle, you got a birdie.
Par 4. Ooh. Par 4.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Number 9.
Whoop.
Right.
Number 9.
1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute. Can't find my cursor. Here we go.
You knew the last time we were here. Okay, right.
I think it was a nice hole.
Here's 9th hole. 210 or something like that.
I'm going to pull off and get the turf nets, and I go, let me borrow one of this orange balls. See if I can put it on the green. I was a little more difficult than that. But they had aerated greens that were sand on with big holes.
That's John's excuse all the time. Big hole.
No, I misunderstood. The hole's not big enough. That's my excuse. Yeah, those 5-inch holes or whatever they are, they're just not big enough for me. Those weekend golf guys, we are here, John Ashton, live at the Polo Fields in Louisville with, of course, Jeff Smith, that's his name, well ensconced in the golf cave at Otter Creek in Columbus. And, wait a minute, what am I hearing now?
Golf cave's better than a man cave.
Is it really? That's cool.
That's the best part about it. Yes, it is, because, of course I've got the cable TV in here,
Okay.
Of course I've got the launch monitor, I've got the simulator, I've got the big gigantic screen, so we're in here at night and it's up and people are hitting golf balls, and I've got, 3 bays in here where, I can have 3 golfers comfortably hitting at one time. They get to see their shots. I get to be in here instructing, and I've got a really cool putting thing. But the best part is, we're here at Otter Creek at the golf course. It's heated in the winter. It's cool in the summer.
And they just built a brand new bar about 15 feet outside your door. So there you go.
Yeah, it's a nice bar, and you know what? 4 monstrous televisions there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's having some good food, some good drinks, hanging out. It's going to be a good thing for the golf cave.
You know what I just heard?
Be a good thing.
This is totally unrelated to this conversation, but I just heard it. Not only are we live on 1450 The Sports Buzz in Louisville right now, not only are we live streaming on our free apps that you can get from the iTunes store or Google Play, but we're also streaming live on XRQK Los Angeles.
Get out.
And for a guy who's been in radio for 30 years, I just love to say that. Los Angeles.
XRQK? Los Angeles.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Love being live in Los Angeles on a Sunday.
Yeah. L.A. on a Sunday. Nice L.A. morning. Neil Diamond songs keep popping into my head for some reason now.
We're heard all over the place.
Yeah, we're heard everywhere. Coast to coast. Border to border.
Like buttered toast.
Like buttered toast. That's it.
It's only 9:48 out there.
What'd I say?
Los Angeles.
Yeah. Early morning.
Early morning, yeah.
For some of us, it's early morning. For some of us, it's, half the day's over. Depends on when you start. It depends on when you start. So, and which brings me to our conversations. We were talking about chipping and stuff like that. Is chipping something you can teach, feel, or is it something where you just teach the rudimentary? Here's what the arc should look like. Here's what the grip should look like, and here's where you put the ball in relation to your back foot, and just keep trying it until it works.
No. We start with those basic fundamentals, but as players begin to feel, then we begin to teach in different ways to get them to feel how to move the club a little bit differently. Sometimes there's technique training involved, and sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's hey, can you see if you feel this motion right here? You'd be surprised at how many people, once you get them to soften their hands up just a little bit, how much they can feel.
Yeah.
And how good they can become.
Now, I know you don't.
It's amazing to me how many people squeeze the club so hard that everything is a really difficult thing to move a club and then to sense how hard to hit it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any short game control because they have no sensation of how far they just hit the shot.
Gotcha. Now you don't wear a glove at all, but do you suggest to people who normally use gloves during the course of a round to remove the glove for feel purposes on chipping and putting, or is it a personal choice?
I have had that conversation with many of my students, and usually the better players, the more attuned they are with their short game, the more they remove their glove, because they realize, hey, this is a delicate shot. I want all the sensation in my hands. I want to know. I want to feel how I'm essentially wielding the club.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know.
Okay.
So a lot of time, I will have a conversation with them, but I let them come to their own conclusions. Now, at the same time, a lot of it is humidity dependent. If it's really hot, really humid, the hands are perspiring. Sometimes they really want the glove on because they have a specific feel that they don't want to lose with the glove on, because you might have to dry your grips, you might have to dry your hands, or it can be difficult. So I think even the better players that tend to take the glove off in the short game area, sometimes they leave it on. I think they're making that decision based on how they feel on the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't wear a glove just because I don't wear one. I don't like the feel of them.
Uh-huh.
I've not really ever played with a golf glove on, except when it gets just like excruciatingly humid.
Okay.
For example, this July, when Caroline and I were down playing golf in Pinehurst, and we played at Tobacco Road, and it was 97 degrees when we teed off and quite humid. So I actually wore a glove.
Really? Okay.
And
Cool.
I wore it the entire time, and I didn't even take it off the putt.
Aha.
I just had a better feel for what was going on that day.
So it's like mittens in February.
The guy who never wears a glove.
Like mittens in
That's
February. Got to keep it on. Keep. Yeah. I've been taking mine off for putting. I found that my putting is getting better when I don't have the glove on, because I use a bionic glove, which is very heavily padded, and it does create a much better grip on your, especially when your grips needed to be replaced 3 years ago and you still haven't done it. But it does give a much better grip on the club.
I told you, John, you needed to get a grip.
I know. I've been told. A grip I could afford. It's 14 of them at one time that sets me back, man. But I found that without the glove on the putter now, it's easier. It's easier. We're going to have a problem with the intrepid producer, Mark, and the rest of the studio audience here. 14, Mark.
14
Yeah.
clubs. That's all, huh?
14.
Well, it just seems like so few.
I know. They're growing them. They're growing them so bigger these days. I mean, children, taller, much taller, older looking.
Number of clubs.
No. I was talking about the age of the woman who just walked by. Back off, buddy. They have closed the pool. Today they're closing the pool here at the Polo Fields, which is a sad day because the scenery here from the veranda is usually much better. But we digress. Once again,
We do so well.
we do it so well. That's why we do it so often. So, so gloves. And I guess you probably need to take two of them on a humid day, too, because once they get wet, they kind of stop working well. Pulling them on and off gets to be a pain. When you pull off your glove and you see those dark stains, and you go, this kind of defeats the purpose, man. Defeats the purpose. But all right, so I'm all ready, man. I'm going to get my clubs regripped, and then I'm going to get a new driver. Name brand, big deal. Is that what you got for me, buddy?
No, just a good quality driver. Certainly there are great ones on the market that aren't even this year's. Maybe they're last year's or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But Ping makes good drivers. Titleist makes great drivers. Callaway makes great drivers. TaylorMade makes great drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Mizuno. There's a bunch of them on the market right now. That I know that you've had your favorite Ping Rapture for a while, and that's okay. But I think I've got another one for you that's going to treat you real nicely.
Well, that's good, because that's what I need.
With a set of instructions.
Yeah, it does come with instructions. That's
Set
great.
of instructions.
That's great, man. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
An additional chapter to the book of Jeff is being written even as we speak. But again, with great pomp and circumstance and relish and gusto, I will devour it and get out there. We got to come up. We'll be doing our show live from this brand new facility they've just built at Otter Creek sometime in the not too distant future. And that's something that we're all looking forward to. So we'll be up there and check it out. Columbus, Indiana. Man, Indiana, once again, the state of Indiana is a hotbed of golf activity. And it's just over the river from anybody here. Now, the question that has been posed, and if you're listening from out on the West Coast or wherever, and you probably don't care, but the question is, see, we have an identity crisis here. Is Louisville the southernmost northern city or the northernmost southern city? See, that's the question. I want you to ponder that. I can't answer that. I mean, how can you be this close to Indiana and consider yourself southern? But then again, as Mr. Mason said to Mr. Dixon, we got to draw the line somewhere. So there is a point at which you become.
You're north of that.
No, we're not. Virginia is south of the Mason-Dixon line. Where does it go? Are we north of the Mason-Dixon line? Does anybody know where the Mason-Dixon line is anymore?
Right.
I guess
That's
the
question.
question is, when you go to a restaurant, do they serve iced tea, A, sweet or unsweet?
Right.
And do they serve it in mason jars or Dixie cups? That depends on what side of the line you're on. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I thought it was North Carolina, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Was the line?
Okay. I don't think so.
thought so.
I think it's.
I could be wrong.
You could be.
I could be wrong. You're from Maine. What do you know?
Yeah, you could be. In fact, I think you are.
From
But
Maine. What do you know? Everything's south to you.
everything's south to me. When you grew up in New England, that's right. I mean, you don't even worry about south or west. You've got New England and the rest of the world, and that's it. You don't care about much else because you know. I mean, what do they call the city of Boston? The hub of the nation. How long ago was that? 1723, maybe. 2015? I don't think so.
There's not a lot of property out there.
Yeah.
A little different.
It is quite different. So anyhow, we've got great stuff coming up, and we will be live doing some great stuff all year long, too. All right, because people say, oh, golf, that's a summer sport. Well, if you live in a part of the country where you get snow in winter, yeah, you're right. But, see, the great thing about us is we can now pack up and go. So we're following the sun. What was that surfing movie they did?
The great summer.
Great Summer? Endless Summer.
Endless
Summer.
That was it.
That was
Endless
it.
Summer.
We're embarking on our endless summer.
Yes, that was it.
We're going everywhere that we can afford, which means maybe North Carolina.
It's entirely possible that we've got a Motel 6 in North Carolina with our name on it.
That's right. Only if we change our name to Motel 6.
We wind up in the. Yeah, that's right. It's also possible that we wind up in the Dominican Republic.
Yes, we will be. We do.
Broadcasting from Teeth of the Dog, so
Mm-hmm.
you never know.
We do have a couple of shows scheduled to be done live from the Tooth of the Dog. Which tooth we're not sure, but we will be somewhere in the Dominican Republic. We of course will be in Orlando for the PGA show. We need to head out west too. We need to get some of our, because we're on the air, like I said, right now live in Los Angeles. We need to get some friends out there to say, hey, come on out and do the show from Thousand Oaks. Come on out and do the show from San Jose. Anybody in San Diego want to invite us out? We'll be there tomorrow. Okay, just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, you're not kidding there. Yeah, I got news for you. I'm going to be doing the show, I believe it's 2 weeks from now, Whistling Straits.
Okay, Jeff, goodbye. Thank you very much for joining us today. We had a great time, and thank you for listening. And you can check us out, thoseweekendgolfguys.com anytime. Again, DraftKings, go to thoseweekendgolfguys.com/fantasy. Follow us on Facebook or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/golfguys, or on Twitter, follow us at WKND Golf Guys. We got it all in. We're going to go play golf. You should too. Bye.
WXPW, Jefferson.
Don't start me to talking about Daniel.
He sent me a friend request.
Yeah.